Okay, this is the fourth lecture on sentences, and we're going to focus on identifying the subject in different kinds of sentences. So, when we have a simple declarative sentence, finding the subject is relatively easy. You don't seem to be having much difficulty with it. Loggers cut special trees. Our subject is loggers. That's what the sentence is about. And what are they doing? They're cutting trees, so this is your predicate. However, when we get into other kinds of sentences, it's not as easy to find the subject. The second type we're going to look at is your interrogative sentence, when you have a question. Many questions, many interrogative sentences begin with part of the verb phrase, the helping verb. Helping verb often will come first in a question. The verb is still part of the predicate. Just because it comes at the beginning of the sentence does not mean it becomes part of the subject. It is still part of the predicate. You always have to separate your H's, your V's, and your S's. So in this question, are some trees too small? Here, right, we have our verb are. The sentence is about trees, but too small is still part of the predicate, right? Some trees are too small would be our statement, okay? So you have V, S, and then predicate following it as well. It's helpful to remember, okay, that this is going to be the sentence structure and you're going to find your subject in the middle. Do most people understand the delicate balance of nature? Helping verb V, subject S, understand is what they're doing. They're understanding. That's a V, and then the rest of your predicate. So we're going to separate our S's from our V's by drawing two lines with our subject in the middle. We got predicate on either side. It sometimes helps if you rearrange it as a statement. Most people do understand the delicate balance of nature. We would clearly draw our line here with do understand on the predicate side and most people on the subject side. So do still is part of the predicate. We're just moving it first. P, S, P. The next sentence type we're going to look at is sentences that begin with there or here. These are sentences that put the predicate first. There and here are adverbs. They say where something is, and that's what adverbs do. They are never the subject of a sentence. So when you start a sentence with there and here, you are putting the predicate first, followed by the subject. There are the missing books. Your subject is books. Are is your verb. So we have the V on this side and the S over here, VS. Okay? And we divide between our V and our S. With the missing describing books, it stays on the subject side. Here is your lunch. Lunch is what the subject is about. It's not about here. It's about your lunch. So that's your subject. Is your verb. And then here stays on the predicate side and yours on the subject side. So we divide our sentence right here. And we have predicate, then subject, V, then S. Okay? You can reorder it. You can rearrange it so that it ends with the there or here instead of begins. So instead of saying there are missing books, you would say the missing books are there. Here is your lunch becomes your lunch is here, and now we have the traditional S-V division. Okay? The last type we're going to look at is your imperative sentence or your commands. In an imperative sentence, the subject is usually not stated. It's not in the sentence. The predicate is the entire sentence. The word you is understood to be the subject. We call it the understood subject. And we notate that by putting it in parentheses at the front of the sentence. So if you have a command, plant these seedlings, this whole thing is predicate. We still have a subject, it's just understood. So we put it in parentheses to kind of show that it's not part of the written sentence, but it's understood. We put the you inside of it. So for your assignment, what I would like you to do is pick one of these sentence types, either 2 interrogative sentences, 3 a sentence beginning with there or here, or 4, an imperative sentence. Pick one, write a sentence, and then identify for me the subject and the predicate. The subject you can identify by bolding it, and the predicate you can identify by italicizing it. Okay, and remember the simple subject's on one side and the verb is on the other.